From AIT Studios in Abuja, Nigeria, this is the O&M Late Show with Obiora Ilo and Mamode Akuga.
I am very, very delighted to know that you're sitting out there and waiting for your favorite Friday night show, the O&M Late Show, reaching you from the studios of AIT in Abuja, Nigeria. I am Obiora Ilo, and as usual, Mamode is here.
Yeah, Obiora. Of course, my name is Mamode Akuga, and of course, very delighted and excited to be in your homes again. It's another Friday night, and time to take on the guests and take on issues surrounding developments in Nigeria.
Talking about the issues, Mamode, one of the biggest issues since yesterday has been I don't know what I should say, is a threat or the statement by the APC saying that their presidential candidate won't be participating.
No, I don't think it's a threat. Their mind is pretty made up. They already decided that their presidential candidate will not participate in the debates organized by the Nigerian Elections Debate Group for reasons which they say the organizers somehow
they've shown some
bias towards President Goodluck Jonathan and his party, the PDP.
Well, the NEDG says that is not true. They are unbiased. It's not just the bond that is involved. They've said they've done this for many years, and the debates are open. Nobody's, I mean, the way it's organized, you can't actually play any games with that. But I think it's Buhari's choice to be part of it or not be part of it.
Yeah, the way I see it, Obiora, is that it's a wonderful opportunity for anybody seeking office, I mean, at that position, to be able to sell yourself, sell your programs, put your manifestos out there. Well, like you said, it's his choice to accept it or not, or to participate or not to participate. But if you ask me, not participating, for me, it will be Buhari's loss.
Yeah, yes, I think that, well, I know that the APC handlers are watching us tonight. If you ask me, well, Mamode said his mind. If you ask me, it may look like it's looking down on the Nigerian voters, and those are the people he will be going to in a few days' time. Well, the ball is in their court. The decision should be theirs. Well,
there's still some days from now, so most likely he may still change his mind.
I hope it doesn't boomerang.
You have close to 2 weeks to still.
I hope it doesn't boomerang.
Yeah.
But the other thing, Mamode, that has been worrying me, I've been very, very upset, is what we have seen in about 3 occasions.
Yes.
Voters attacking the president of Nigeria. I don't think anyone has that right to attack a candidate, not to talk about someone occupying the revered position of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yes, Obiora, I think there are 2 things there. First, you have said a candidate. But apart from being a candidate, he's a sitting president. So there are 2 things at stake here. I think that, first and foremost, it's tantamount to showing the highest level of disrespect and disregard for the office of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And we say that is wrong.
Very, very wrong.
Very
unacceptable by any standards.
Unacceptable by any standards. Yes. For us at O&M Late Show, we say it's unacceptable. And Mamode, I don't know about you, but I want to commend the security men of the president. They've shown a lot of maturity. In all those instances, we never saw anybody wounded or killed or shot at and all that. So we commend them and say, please continue to be level-headed. And then those that are involving themselves in this, you are not being true Nigerians. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Okay, getting down to our package tonight, the campaigns are hotting up. What will be, the likely chances of PDP, pulling victory in these elections for 2015? They've always had it very easy in other elections, but this time around, competition has toughened up. And We're going to be talking to Dr. Doyin Okupe.
Well, I was going to say controversial Doyin Okupe, but I know that some people in Nigeria don't want to be described as controversial.
Yeah,
so I'm taking that away. I'm taking that. So we're talking to Dr. Doyin Okupe, SA to the President on Public Affairs.
Yes.
And of course, Nigeria was not at the Nations Cup this year.
Serious calamity. But we will talk a little bit of sports, a little bit of football when John Fashanu, who's already in the studios, household name in Nigeria, will be talking to us much later. And I know John is a little bit involved in some politics, not politics in football, but politics generally. So maybe you have...
Well, when we spoke earlier today, I said, John, you're not going to talk politics. You're going to talk sports and football. I don't know whether he'll keep to that.
Okay, so it's the O&M Late Show. We'll be right back after this timeout. Don't go away. When we come back, Dr. Doyin Okupe will be on set.
Well, glad to know you're still out there with us on the O&M Late Show. And joining us right away is Dr. Doyin Okupe, SA to the President on Public Affairs. Doyin, you're welcome to our show.
Hi.
You're welcome.
How you doing?
Welcome.
I hope all is well.
Yeah, very well.
Thank you.
You know, Dr. Okupe, I keep wondering, this fine medical doctor, this fine medical doctor, throws away everything about medicine.
Long time.
And
Long time.
Has become a communications guru. Talk about the transition, or what led to it.
Okay, you know, I'd always been interested in politics, and I came to politics very early in life. I just left medical school and all that. 1978 actually, and after youth service, I got to Lagos, and NPN was the thing. You know, I was an NPN, and I had a senior brother of mine, the late Akin Ogumade Davis. He was the managing director of Road Publicity, and was the publicity secretary of the NPN in Lagos. So I was like his, you know, young friend, and he took me everywhere. He taught me how to write press releases. He taught me how to do many things, you know, and that's how I just got interested in it, and I took it.
Since then, no turning back at all.
No turning back. Duru Onabule was also one of my tutors. He was the editor of Concord. He'll put me in a room and then tell me to go and write, a press release on an issue. I bring it back to him. He'll correct it, and all that and all that. So I had some people who helped me.
Do you miss medicine?
No, I don't miss medicine because I went to medicine because as a young child, I'm a young person. My idea was to be able to help the suffering of the people, to be able to alleviate people's suffering. So when I left medical school and I started to practice, and then when I saw politics to be a larger clinic, where if you are effective, then you can actually treat a lot of ailments in the society and help to relieve the pains of the masses. So that's why I'm here.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about politics now.
That's my business.
That's your business. But, we'll talk about PDP and their prospects very shortly. But, when I see you, there's something in my head that, I wonder how you feel. Now, you worked for President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Correct.
And right now you're working for President Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
Nigerians, it's an open secret that, the relationship between these two people, which was very, very cordial in the past, is not the best right now. It's a relationship that has been challenged seriously. Knowing what's going on between the two of them and you in the middle, do you feel uncomfortable at all?
Not at all. I had a very good relationship with President Obasanjo, and I'm grateful to him. He brought me out, and I was the first person to be appointed by President Obasanjo in his administration on the 29th of May, 1999.
Yes.
Okay? And, now I'm working for President Goodluck Jonathan. Luckily, what you said is, when the relationships were good between them, it did not affect me. So if it is sour, it doesn't affect me. I have a job to do. I have a lifetime commitment to whatever I decide to do, and I face it. That's not to do with the third party.
How do you walk the tightrope?
There's no tightrope.
No, there's a tightrope.
No, there's not.
Dr. Okupe, there's a tightrope.
There's not.
The president, the former president criticizes the sitting president, and then you are the SA public affairs. You are like I'm sorry, forgive me. You're like the attack man for.
At least you use attack man. I think you want to use dog. Let's let the people use dog. No, I was
so scared I didn't want to use that one.
Yeah, because you think that maybe I may attack you too. No, but talking seriously, honestly speaking, when I say I don't see any serious challenges, it's because of my nature. I'm a loyal person. Then I'm a committed person. I take on something and I take it with everything that I have. I don't look back. It doesn't matter whether unfortunately my father is dead. On this job, I've taken the responsibility to do this job, to defend the president and to promote him. You stand in my way, I'm going to face you and do what I have to do.
Including President Obasanjo?
Including anybody and anyone. It doesn't really matter to me. My job, I do it. I face my job and I try to do my very best. I don't have to be rude to anybody. I'm a Yoruba person, a thoroughbred Yoruba man. And if you look at it also, in recent times, in the last 2 years, I've never said anything about Obasanjo. It's not my business whatever happens between him and the president. But if General Obasanjo says, like he said once, Goodluck Jonathan, the President Jonathan, has performed below expectation. I said, no, that's not correct. These are the things that President Goodluck Jonathan has done. Yes. So that's what I did. That's what I will do anytime. If my father or my mother says that Goodluck Jonathan doesn't know how to do it, I say, Mommy, you're wrong. This is what Goodluck Jonathan is all about. This is what he has done, and I will defend him with my blood.
Do you know this kind of stance, this kind of your stance in issues like this has also earned you controversial, Dr. Okupe?
It doesn't really matter.
I'm worried about how does that sit on you?
No, like I said, third parties really do not bother me that much. I face whatever I have to do in life, and I face it squarely. I've got a job to do, I get it done. As long as I'm not undermining my principle, that's all.
All right, let's talk about the chances of your principle right now. Yes, before now there was a prediction that PDP was going to rule Nigeria for 60 years. That is not looking like it's going to happen.
Because
no, I said it's not looking like. I'm not saying that it will happen. Yeah. I didn't say it's one of your party men, that's one of your former chairmen that said it. For the first time, competition is really strong now. I mean, even PDP has accepted.
I don't think so.
Okay, tell me about it.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. You know, I have been in politics for 3 decades, right? I understand the politics of Nigeria. There's no serious politician in Nigeria that I have not played with in one bandwidth or the other. So we know ourselves. You know, the day APC chose and picked Buhari, I said they've made a fatal error. That's the truth. Forget about all the whitewashing, all the hula baloo about propaganda and all that. It is, you know, it's like when you put icing on a cake and put in the sun, it's going to melt. You know, I knew that this was not going to stand well, you know, because we knew what was on the ground. Buhari is not acceptable to, you know, majority of Nigerians. He's a religious.
You have statistics. You have a research.
As I sit here with you, on the 5th of January, I commissioned personally. This is not to do with the party or with the government. I commissioned, private opinion pollsters to do opinions in some 6 critical states. One of them is Lagos. Buhari, Jonathan is still 60-40 preferred even in Lagos. And I'm telling you for a fact. And I'll tell you a bad news about PDP. I also did the same thing in Ondo. It wasn't so favorable. I'm telling you for a fact, it wasn't so favorable. And I've told the people there that you guys have a problem. And they explained to me, this is what happened, that what I've said to them is correct, but this is what happened, this is what happened. And, there are a couple of other places for strategic reasons I will not release them. So when I was in NRC, and we're going to have an election like this, I gave state, Tommy Kinney is still alive, Alhaji Usman Alhaji is still alive, that, members of the executive, of that time, they're still alive. I gave state-by-state account of what was likely going to happen to NRC. It did not shift. I mean, I'm gifted in these things, and that's the truth. This election is a foregone conclusion. Jonathan is going to win it. It may not be a landslide. People were saying that Buhari has 12 million voter reservoir in the north, and that is why they were deluded in picking Buhari. They did not look at the figures properly. Yes, Buhari had 12 million voters in the north in the last election, but Jonathan had 8 million in the same election. So that is not a big deal. Yes. 1/3 of the 12 million Buhari voters were underage. The other one third were figures that they were able to put together because our agents were intimidated. So Buhari is not even as strong as people present him to be. The elites are very important.
Yeah, Dr. Okupe, how do you
the elites in the north are not for General Buhari. Have you ever seen anybody of political weight, anybody of note, anybody that is somebody in the north follow Buhari on this campaign? Have you seen anybody?
How do you classify anybody that is somebody?
Okay, Buhari was in Lagos today. Tell me how many northerners that you have seen, elites, northern elites that you have seen, who are with him. Tell me.
I was trying to ask you a very important question because, Dr. Okupe, you came up with this issue of state-by-state analysis, and if
we should go state-by-state,
I'm going to go with you.
Every spread is
about to go with you.
No, but
let me first of all.
Dr. Okupe,
I'll tell you where we're going to win. I'll tell you where we're going to lose.
We'll be happy to hear that.
Plus or minus 5%.
Let's put the map.
But you have lost even before an election. The PDP lost some swing states.
Where?
For instance, Kano, 5-point-something million votes went from PDP to APC. River State, 2.4 million votes went from PDP to...
You are telling me what I know.
Okay.
So let me tell you what is factual.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right? Let us take the Northwest that everybody is making so much noise about. Look, General Buhari would have an overall vote capacity that will be more than what we're going to get in the Northwest. But we're going to, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan is going to do far better in the Northwest than he did in 2011. And I will tell you, start from Sokoto. Let me just hand on. quickly, because I know we don't have too much time. Yeah. Let's start from Sokoto. In Sokoto, we may not win, all right? But, there's no way the president will earn less than 40%. There are very important key political figures in Sokoto who were not there before, but who are today rooting for the president. The current Nigerian ambassador to Morocco is an extremely popular grassroots politician. When you combine him with a man, an all-time party chairman, of various parties in Sokoto, Atahiru Bafarawa,
former governor.
I've known Bafarawa for 25 years. I knew him when he was chairman of local government council. Do you understand my point? So, in Sokoto, I'm not going to count my chicken before they're hatched. We will take 35-40%. Kebbi, we're likely going to get the same thing. In Zamfara, we will do much, much better. Zamfara is the only state in the northwest today where you can carry Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's poster on your head in the marketplace, and nobody's going to stone you or nobody's going to harass you. I don't want to say we're going to win, but Zamfara is looking like 50-50 to me. Fine. Let's come back to Kano.
Yes.
Kano is so important. Kano is so big. But guess what? In 2011, Goodluck had over 1 million naira and over 1 million votes in Kano. This time around, it is worse. And I'll tell you why. One is that if you look at it, there's already an issue in Kano right now. The party in Kano and the national party, the candidate of APC are almost at loggerhead. And Kano, the kind of game they play, they have already said it out that, okay, Buhari has smoked his last cigarette. And now we also have Shekarau in Kano backing us. We've got our own man. We've got our own man who has been the grandfather of Kano politics forever. The current Minister of External Affairs, Aminu Wali. Now, Kano is not going to be a tea party. It's not going to be a tea party for Buhari. In Kano, I'm looking at the 40%, 30 to 40%. And when you are taking 30-40% of votes in Kano, that's a hell of a vote.
Let's go to Imo State. Let's go to River State. Give us your
Imo State. The government there is not PDP, right? Rochas Okorocha is a very popular person. I've done an opinion poll a year ago, and I was shocked. The popularity of Rochas Okorocha nationwide. Even if I were Rochas, and I've always wanted to tell him, he should just keep his head cool. Any day, the presidency goes to the east, he's the #1 candidate. But this election, he's going to lose.
Tell us why.
I'll tell you why. Because he never had it before. It's like a man, a film star, or a dancer, that borrows drums and sets from somebody, the microphone from another person. And when the owners now come and collect their things,
one by one.
He might be a good singer, he may be a good performer, but there are no instruments now. We own the cloth, we own the music, we own the drums. In Imo State.
How?
We have a problem in Imo State. Ifeanyi Ararume is a major factor in Imo State. If we're able to wedge him and appease him to work with the deputy speaker, I'm sorry, that governor ain't going nowhere. That's the truth. Port Harcourt, we will have a battle of our lives in the issue of governorship. But the president's and the presidential election, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan will win 80-20. I'm putting my integrity, my name, my everything on the ground. In the southwest, I told you, a current analysis shows that 60% will still vote for Jonathan, and it's
60% in Lagos.
In Lagos, I'm telling you, 40% of Lagos is made up. Excuse me, sir.
I'm not a good politician like you.
I am a politician. I'm going to explain to you. I'm a politician, and I'm a damn good one, and I'm also
waiting to hear that explanation.
I know what I'm talking about.
Tell us about
very it. Good. Lagos is a very is the most cosmopolitan city in Nigeria. Over 40% of the indigenes in Lagos, over 40% over percent of residents in Lagos are non-indigens. And you're looking at, majority of them being Southeasterners, then South-South. Okay? Are you following me? Now, if you look at what is on the ground, the East and the South-South will vote for Jonathan wherever they go. So you're looking at 40% votes already. Now, among the Yorubas who are resident in Lagos, if 20% of them should, there's no way you can say that 20% voters, in Lagos are not PDP. We are not as many as APC. I agree. But this, the election of Jonathan is not to do with just APC and PDP. Jonathan is the key factor in the Lagos election. So, put it down that, I'm not talking about governorship, I'm not talking about House, Senate, but for presidency, Goodluck Jonathan will thrash Buhari 60-40 minimum.
With Asiwaju in Lagos.
Forget about Asiwaju. People are getting fed up of Asiwaju, in Lagos. And as they are talking about change at national level, Lagosians are not shouting, but all of them are fed up, and they're also asking for change. And I'm telling you, Lagos is going, Asiwaju and all the APC people are going to be hit by a tornado. They will be shocked, shell-shocked. Shell-shocked.
In the next 2 weeks, we will find out what all these predictions are.
But of course, you know that the Southeast, we're going to win 80%.
I wanted to take
South, we're going to win 80%.
I wanted to take you to the middle belt at least. Middle belt, Benue, Plateau.
Middle belt is a battleground.
Yes.
I don't, in Kwara, it will be a 50-50 chance. Kogi, we have a slight margin, we will win. All right? The Benue, in Benue, theoretically, I've studied it.
Yes,
in theory, all right, it appears as if we have a major problem, which is
because
our former chairman, Gemade has left.
Former governor,
no, just wait a minute.
Yes.
The former minister, is actually the APC candidate.
Yes,
fine. So on the surface, it looks as if, and I was afraid myself until I went there and I spoke to people. Let me tell you the beautiful thing about Benue. You've got 3 senatorial districts. All right, one senatorial district is the Idoma. That's where David Mark comes from. Whatever is happening in Benue right now has nothing to do with that district. That district is PDP 1,010%. Right? That's the fact. Okay? It was Alaji and General Noja who used to give us problem there. But God has quietened them, so they're not fighting. So we will get that one.
Is God involved in the politics of Nigeria?
I can't say anything without putting God. Now, you now have 2 senatorial districts left. Yes. In one senatorial district, the current governor is fighting for Senate. All right, he's the current governor, and he comes. That's the same district that Gemade comes from. Yes. He is going to defeat Gemade. He's going to take.
Why? Why? Because why are you saying that?
No, he's stronger. He has more resources. He's more popular. That's why Gemade ran away from him now. Why did Gemade contest Senate with him?
Because of the confusion in the primaries.
No, forget it. If Gemade was strong, Gemade would have picked a ticket in another party. But Gemade knows his limitation. He's an elder and he knows what it is.
Okay.
So,
Dr. Okupe,
there's no way.
Dr. Okupe, this is your magic one. We will win
Plateau. We will win Adamawa.
Dr. Okupe, excuse me.
On the whole, let me tell you the one that's going to shock you. We're going to win Borno State. I'm shocking you, and I'm telling you for a fact. Let me tell you why.
No.
There are two political figures.
Let's move to another aspect of our conversation.
Okay, all right.
Dr. Okupe, this is your crystal ball.
The truth of the matter is that PDP and Goodluck Jonathan are on good grounds.
Okay. No, but I was going to ask you, on the whole, what do you think?
All the noise in the market does not affect the price of goods in the market. People can be shouting.
Even if there's a riot in the market.
There are, luckily,
what will be the margin of victory? For you, PDP is going to win. So what will be the margin of victory?
Buhari is going to do a lot better than he did before. And, logically so. The whole idea of trying to merge the Northwest and Southwest vote was on the assumption that, Bola Tinubu and his group would deliver the Southwest intact.
What is your margin?
All right, but you know that's not possible anymore.
No.
We are in control of Ondo. We are in control of Ekiti.
You are not answering my question.
What's the margin of victory?
And I'm being very serious now. I'm looking at about 55, 58 to 45, 42.
Sit down, good luck, sit down there. Sit down. Now beg we the beg, oh, sit down, good luck, sit down there. Sit down. Now you sit down.
1957 kamo kwa yesi. So one cheka iga watana muka bukwezi we. Mazi Masi good luck. Transformation agenda. Unafugo kwa no manda. Oya check your calendar.
Sit down, sit down, sit down, good luck, sit down there. Sit down, sit down. Now beg we the beg, oh, sit down, sit down, sit down, good luck, sit down there. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Now your seat, oh, sit down.
Vote Good Luck Jonathan for President. Vote PDP. This message is brought to you by Directorate of Media and Publicity, PDP Presidential Campaign Organization.
Good luck, Ebele Jonathan.
He assumed office with a vision and a dogged determination to make a difference. Despite daunting challenges which could have destabilized our renewed march to greatness, he has remained steadfast in his quest to deliver the dividends of democracy to all Nigerians. All around us, evidence abound that he is working and enriching the lives of millions of our countrymen and women. Because he is humble and filled with love for our country, he has refused to be distracted. He is the first president of Nigeria to give a documented account of his achievements, and these are yet to be disputed. If he has been able to do so much in just 4 years, let's imagine what he can do with 4 more. Think Nigeria. Vote Good Luck. This message is brought to you by the Wind of Hope.
You're still watching the O&M show. I'd like to quickly apologize for that break in transmission that we had. But we still have Dr. Doyin Okupe in the studios, and hopefully we'll be wrapping up our conversation with him now. We're trying to find out from you. Yes,
55 to 45, and 55, 45, and 58, 42. That's kind of margin we'd like to go to get.
Dr. Okupe, a lot of Nigerians, because you're in communication, a lot of Nigerians have issues with language being used by the politicians. One of the biggest ones was the documentary on Buhari where they talked about his wives, his children, and what have you. Is this the language we should be using in 2015?
I watched that documentary. What did they say about? They didn't say anything derogatory about his wives. That documentary didn't say anything derogatory about his wives. He just said, he was married to somebody before.
Is that the issue?
No.
Are those the issues that we should be looking at this time?
I am not going to defend that documentary.
Okay.
All right, because I know nothing about that documentary. But I watched it just like you two. But I'm a bit more lenient in my judgment.
Because you're sympathetic with.
Yes, I am, because I'm so happy somebody thought about doing that documentary, because about 40% of the voters, my daughter, my children, all right, told me, Daddy, are these real? And I said, look at it, they're real. So people who matter and who are important in taking in this election know nothing about the other, this candidate. All they have is the propaganda and the whitewashing and the clothes changing,
So you're cool with the language?
I don't say, it's not an issue of language. It's not language. Is it? Did they lie in that General Buhari made a decree 4? Is it a lie? He made a decree 2. Is it a lie? He killed people retrospectively. Is it a lie? He seized the Ooni of Ife's passport for going to Israel. Is it a lie? All right. He was selective in his judgment. How can we Southerners were punished. He spared Northerners. Is that a lie?
Okay,
so the documentary presented Buhari who he is.
All right.
So, and it was important.
So are you impressed? Are you impressed with the language that PDP uses, the APC uses?
Are you cool with it?
Impressed?
I am impressed with what the way my president, has carried on. He has carried on with charisma. He has carried on, with a lot of presidential, demeanor. He has carried, he has spoken well. He has been forceful. He has spoken about issues. He has, behaved, as if, he totally ignores all the, sad and all the unnecessary and this language.
Dr. Okupe.
We definitely have to bring you back after the elections.
I'm available.
After the elections, if your predictions come true, we will congratulate you.
If you want to put money down on this table now, let's put money down on this table.
Well, I'm not into gambling.
We're not into gambling. We're not gambling. Especially your money where your mouth is.
It's okay. We must thank you for. I mean, you're always an interviewer's delight, and I think we've enjoyed.
I've enjoyed myself.
And then
yes,
we'll just leave this little memento with you. So,
tell me, what does O&M mean?
Obiora Mamode.
Yes, just the two of us.
That's the name of this program and this studio. I'd like to work for you.
So when you go back to the villa, make sure this is on your table.
Exactly. Okay. I was a guest on.
We'll take a break, and when we return, John Fashanu, that ex-international and sports ambassador, will be with us. Don't go away.
That will be on the sofa. For almost 3 decades, have been involved in broadcast journalism, with the better part of that time in the gathering and production of news and news programs. I'm proud to have pioneered weekday morning news talk show on Nigerian television, first with AM TV Live on DBN television, and later with Kakaki on AIT.
I am Obiora Ilo. Over 30 years ago, I started my career at Radio Nigeria. Over these long years, I've presented several programs and interviewed hundreds of guests, men and women, the big stars and the not well known, the rich and the poor, politicians, movie stars, journalists, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as they say. You just name them. I've also covered events across the world, from Europe to America, from Asia and back to Africa, bringing first-class reports.
Now, together with Obiora, I will be coming to your screens 2 nights a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, with the O&M Late Show.
Mamode and I will be bringing our decades of experience to bear on our new talk show, the O&M Late Show.
In our careers, we have blazed many trails, and we are thrilled and ready to set new records with nighttime television. The O&M Late Show,
your late night catch-up.
You're watching the O&M Late Show, and coming on set now is John Fashanu, ex-international sports ambassador. John.
Thank you. Obi, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Yeah, so John, how has it been being an ambassador, sports ambassador?
It's good. When you're representing your sport, you're representing a country, you know, working with the UN, it's wonderful. You don't always see good things, but it's very interesting.
Yes, and as a Nigerian, a lot of Nigerians are feeling very, very sad, because you know what football does to Nigerians. You know, it's an exciting game for a lot of Nigerians, and watching the Nations Cup without Nigeria, you know, for you, how does that make you feel as a Nigerian?
Well, you know, Mo, we've got to be honest, we've been very, very good. Things have been great before, winning obviously the Cup of Nations before, and doing so well. You know, under this regime, under the government, we've almost won everything. It's almost like every competition we have qualified, or we've won. Commonwealth Games, Women's Cup in the UAE, the World Cup, Brazil, it just goes on and on and on. So if there is a challenge and you don't qualify for the Cup of Nations, sometimes you've got to take it on the shoulder. Because in the game of football, I assure you, you lose more than you win.
Well,
okay, John, you know, you've had a wonderful career. What was the lowest point for you?
I think the lowest point for me was really my injury, which retired me. That was when I was playing for Aston Villa against Manchester United, and a tackle with Ryan Giggs, one of the former footballers. It was a bad tackle, and it broke my knee, And he's not exactly a very strong person. It was just a complete accident. But I think you've got to realise that you change gear from football, you move into presenting, from presenting into other things, and you find yourself into politics.
Yes, I talked about the lowest point. What was the highest point? I mean, for many years, you were like the Nigerian star out there in, of course, I read places where you said, oh, I regret not playing for my country. A lot of Nigerians didn't quite like you for that anyway. So what was the highest point for you?
Well, you know, the highest point was winning the FA Cup final, 1988. That's a very high point. That's the
and you were quite
largest.
young then.
Yeah, very young then. I mean, that's the biggest domestic trophy in the world. So winning that is wonderful. But when it came to this thing of playing for Nigeria, you know, that's why I had to go back and really rejiggle it and make sure it was very clear. Because the actual truth was, I actually came 3 times. And I trained under the Brazilian coach called Auto Gloria. Shegun Odegbomi, the late Mudulawao. I was in Games Village in Lagos, Surulere. The truth was, you had English football and Nigerian football completely different.
Completely.
English football was in the air, aggressive, running, fast. The Brazilians now took the game from the English, and we Nigerians took the game from the Brazilians, which was on the ground, skill, etc. The coach said to me, look, Fash, you might be a star in England, but I'm sorry, you just don't fit in here. And he was right. I was benched against China, wasn't playing. You know, I wasn't up to the standard of what the Nigerian football was there, and that's just the truth of it. So there was never, ever a situation where somebody asked me to come and I didn't come. That was just a complete lie.
Or was it some kind of
I think, lie is a hard word. I'd say it was, should we say they're playing with the truth?
Okay, so with all the recent happenings in, you know, Nigerian football and the governance generally of Nigerian football with the NFF, you know, change of
NFA, is it
NFF, change of leadership, you know, back and forth, the issue of a coach firing Keshi, retaining him, and all that drama. Does all that play, you know, go on well with football itself? The politics of it.
You know, Mo, there are more politics in sport than there is in politics. So, you know, as a sportsman,
that's a new one
you have to get used to handling the ups and downs and the challenges. What has been interesting is that we've had and we have a president who loves sport. Now, when you have a president who loves sport, it's a lot better than having a president who doesn't love sport. When you're in a country of 120, 110 million, you've got 70% of them are youths, and you have a president who loves sport. Out of the 70%, you've got at least 40% of those youths who love sport. Which it means that when we do have challenges, and we have insurmountable challenges in the glass house, Mr. President is there for us. Mr. President will unite and reunite families there, because we're all family. Once you come under the football fraternity, or you're an athlete, or you're boxing, or you are part of the family. Mr. President will, any time, he will give time, he will make time to bring the youths together. We've had unprecedented success under Mr. President, and it has been wonderful, but it's very frustrating. The minute Mr. President is not there, then you see the fifth columnists start to enter, and we start to have challenges not qualifying for the Cup of Nations. As soon as Mr. President hasn't got his eye on it, there are challenges which could have been avoided had Mr. President been there, but of course the election was coming up, and so he had to prioritize and follow the election.
But Mr. President did step in with the issue of Stephen Keshi and put his foot down. And
that's why he's still there now.
Keshi must come back.
Yeah, you know, he must come back. Stephen Keshi hasn't done bad for the nation. He's done good for the nation, and you can't keep throwing away when you create a good manager. You can't just throw him away for somebody else. Because I assure you, he will regurgitate and come back again and show you and probably beat you in the final and show you what he's made of.
Okay, let's look at the future of Nigerian football. You've seen all the politics, you've seen all the ups and downs. I mean, you're like looking from a very good position. What should we do right for us to move our football forward so that this kind of disgrace for a lot of Nigerians, man, nobody ever thought of anything like this, that Nigeria will not be at the World Cup when we are defending champions.
The Nations Cup, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean,
let's take that defeats as a warning. Let's take it on the chin. Sometimes you have to. Whether it was we imploded or the arguments, whatever the reason was, we didn't qualify. But we know months before that, we equaled our best at the World Cup. A great display under Brazil. Stephen Keshi, the NFF, NFA, whatever you want to call them, have been able to bring the international players and the local players together for the first time. No quarrels, playing well, all together as we were in the World Cup. I was there, did commentating for the World Cup, and it was exemplary. So we want development. We want to be able to sustain what we're going through. Obviously, even now there are secret wars going on in the NFF, but we need Mr. President to have that third eye, which he does, because there are too many small, petty arguments which are stopping football moving forward. You ask me, what do we do to move forward? It would be lovely, as Mr. President preaches, dialogue. Let's get all of the heads under football. And football doesn't belong to one person. Football doesn't belong to you or me. It belongs to all of us, the nation. We're all sports and football lovers. And it's time we got together. We all sat down, all the interested parties. We're not saying that because you are a good professional footballer, then you should be a great administrator. We're not saying that. But we're saying that because you were a professional footballer and you played abroad internationally, and the ones who played locally, you have something to add. The people we have in football at the moment are not necessarily excellent footballers, but they might be good administrators.
Football administrators.
Yes. So let's marry the two together and see where we can move forward, because undoubtedly all of the football lovers and sports people are formidable in their own right. It's just putting the pie together and getting the right people.
Mix.
Yes, the right mix. It's frightening. If you think of the talent we have and we put them together and it works, it's quite frightening.
Yeah, we'll get to the very top.
Look at our players. Our players are everywhere.
He keeps going back to Mr. President, Mr. President. You're sounding like,
good.
A
loyalist.
Yeah,
a PDP member. Somebody who wants PDP to come back. Yes. I'm sorry.
I was going to say this is the season of politics.
Yes.
So, what is your take?
Look, Obi, anywhere in the world where there's development and you're seeing the country is changing, you want progress.
Yeah.
You don't want manifests of people telling you what you think you will do when you're in power. We can see what has happened since and under this government. And under this government we have never had so much success in sport. Never. Hasn't happened. So anybody coming and saying, "This ambassador, this is what we'll do. We will build academies. We will build this. We will." We will. I'm looking at what we've done.
What you've done.
6 years, I see what we've done, and I assure you, I want to be on the train.
So you think that President Jonathan would do better for sports? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying, Obi, is that 2-3 years ago we had a tournament in the 6 geographical political zones. We rallied 300,000 youths. That was amazing. It's in the Guinness Book of Records. All those 300,000 youths, I assure you, will be ready to vote for PDP. Good luck, Jonathan. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
I will be voting, and I know all of the youths out there following us will be voting for Good Luck, Jonathan.
This John, the politician, not the ambassador.
Everything in life has changed.
Everything in life is about politics.
Yes, politics.
It's your interest.
Yes.
And so you think that, well, for you, your interest in sports, you think
when we had Doctor on earlier on, you see how enthusiastic he is. You see how he talks with fire. But equally as well, he can be a soft man. These are people you look at and you say, wow, that's interesting. Femi Kayode, another gentleman, young man, very prosperous, know where he's going. You want to emulate people like that. However you are, I've traveled the world, I've seen a lot, but these are people I say, I like what they're doing.
Mamodi, I think we'll leave it here.
Yes, we'll leave it here. And wish John all the best.
Thank you, brother.
In your aspirations.
Thank you, Obi.
Okay. All right. As usual, we will have a mug and present to you, John.
Wonderful.
Yes, sure. So, okay.
You know, as you go around the world,
yes,
you go with this.
Oh, this is not exactly the World Cup, but it's getting there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. And incidentally, today is Obiora's birthday.
Oh, I give it back to you. Happy birthday.
So, I don't know if we have, our crew has something set out for Obiora. We could just have it on set.
We're not going to ask him his age or his footballing age.
Real
age or football age?
Real age or footballing age. Yes, you can.
Which one? Which one is it today?
There's just one age.
It's just one age.
There's no footballing age anymore. Okay. Thank you, Mamodi.
So,
thank you so much.
All the best to Obiora.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Oh, the crew. Let the crew join us.
All right.
They made my day. Look at that.
Wow.
Mamodi, you didn't tell me about this.
Wow. This is beautiful, and everybody's joining us.
Oh, we cut the cake.
Someone is blocking me. Someone is blocking me.
So, all right, everybody, very quickly.
You're not going to sing a birthday song for me?
Yes, we. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Obi. Happy birthday to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you
so much.
And that's
gentlemen, that's our package for tonight. We'll be back on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock with the O&M Sunday Show. You have yourselves a great night.
Thanks, guys.